Well, the weekend is coming to a close, but that doesn't end here on Deleted Wrestle Zone. So today we have only three reviews, and they're all the Japanese wrestling scene. If you're a big fan of that, then you guys are on the right channel. So first things first, we're going to review, which haven't done a review from them for quite a while, Joshi Pro Wrestling with the Tokyo Princess Cup Finals. So the obvious question is, in this particular event, who will walk out as this year's winner of the Princess Cup? Well, we'll find out. And of course, we have the latest Stardom show, Stardom X Stardom 2023 Osaka Summer Team. Most of the titles are defended. We have the High Speed title, the Goddesses, the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, the IWGP Championship, and of course, the Red Belt. So the obvious question does tell in this one, will we see title exchanges or wrestlers will retain their titles? So we'll find out as well about that. And then finally, we have, of course, the conclusion of the G1 Climax. Who will walk out as the winner of this year's G1? Will it be Tetsuya Naito? Or will it be the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada? Well, this is going to be an epic battle between two guys who have confronted each other time and time again. We'll just find out. And of course, we have some news updates to tell about what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who is booked, what matches are set, any injured wrestlers, signed wrestlers, the whole enchilada. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay, right here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. So, if you like this channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you like this episode, give us a click like or a nice comment. So, let's get started with our very first review, Joshi Pro Wrestling. Well, it's been a while since I actually reviewed one of their shows. I have been unable to see some of them, but this one is the Tokyo Princess Cup. Now, those who are new to the channel or new to the Japanese wrestling scene, let me explain what this is. The Tokyo Princess Cup is in fact an annual tournament where it's a single elimination tournament. You win if there two wrestlers will face off, the loser will be eliminated, the winner will advance. Now, the winner of this particular tournament will move on to get an opportunity to face the champion, which is the Princess of Princess Championship, currently being held by Mizuki. So this is something that you definitely don't want to miss out. The two competitors involved in this one is, of course, the Pink Striker. Some of you may know who she is, Miyu Yamashita, taking on Yuki Kamifuku. Now, if you guys are unfamiliarized with her, then I'll give you a quick thing when we get to that particular match at the end. So let's get started. Now, once again, of course, the ring announcer gave it the lowdown of today's event, but we do move into the Up Girls doing one of their songs called Shining Mark. Personally, this is one of my favorite songs ever since Shino joined the group. So it was real fun. So if you guys haven't seen it, go look for it on the Up Girls YouTube channel, and it's right there, the Shining Mark. You'll probably enjoy it. Now, our opening match is a singles action. We have Runa Okubo taking on Hikari Noa. Now, I had a feeling this match was going to definitely end with Hikari Noa due to the fact that she does have a bit of the wrestling experience, better than Okubo. Okubo is still one of the much newer girls who's been around for a while now. It's a good thing. She's a junior still, But I figured that this match was definitely going to go with Hikari when she applied a pretty sick submission move. It looked more like a Cobra twist from the angle I saw, but I'm not 100% sure. But she won by effective move right there. Next up, we have a three-way match. We have Himawari versus Aruna Neko versus Nao Kakuta. Of course, anything goes around in these type of matches, especially when it comes to three ways. Anything can happen along the way. But this match ended with Nao Kakuta applying the backpack stunner onto Imawari, and just like that, she picked up a really impressive win right there. Next up, we have a very interesting tag match. We have Haru Kazushiro taking on Shino Suzuki, who is a member of the Up Girls, taking on Pam Harajuku and Raku, also another member of the Up Girls. Now, I've always been a fan of both Pam and Raku because they have a very strange storytelling where, of course, Pam is try to be around Raku that much, close friends and all this and stuff. But that's always played out pretty well. But however, Raku, as you know, her opponents need to stay clear from her because if she sings a lullaby, you fall asleep. But that did not end it right. Did not go exactly in that direction. But in fact, it was Raku with a neck breaker onto Kazuhiro to pick up the win, giving her and Pam the victory. Next up, we have a pair of karate experts, Julia Nagano and Moka Miyamoto, taking on Kaya Toribami and the so-called superhero, Hyper Misao. Now, if you probably ask me why am I calling the so-called superhero, well, she is a superhero, but she likes to cheat by any means necessary. But this is going to be a tough challenge because we know that the Hyper Misao would try to play dirty tricks a little bit in order to win because she's done it before, and that's always been who she is. But luckily, in this case, it was an impressive spinning roundhouse kick by Julia onto Kaya Toribami to pick up the win. I thought it was sweet. So, just like that. Next up, we have Toga teaming up with Wakana Uehara, taking on Mahito Kiru and Yuki Arai. Yeah, this is going to be a fun match because if you guys know who Mahito Ikuri is, or those who don't know, Mahiro likes to apologize to people knowing that she's going to do about something bad. So she bows her head saying that she apologizes what she's about, and then she does it and then tries to pick up the win. But it didn't end that way, but it was, of course, Yuki Arai who in fact applied a sharpshooter onto Wakana, and she tapped out just like that. It was completely over. Now, our next match, we have Yuki Inoue teaming with Miyu Watanabe and Rika Tatsumi to take on Suzumi, Shoko Nakajima, and of course our current Prince and Princess champion Mizuki. So I thought this match was pretty good, very impressive. I mean, all these ladies, I know they can reach the top. There's still some who haven't won their first singles run yet, but in this case, it was a pretty impressive suplex by Mizuki to put away Miyu Watanabe, giving her the win. Now, our next match, which is our main event, is the finals of the Tokyo Princess Cup. We have Miyu Yamashita versus Yuki Kamifuku. Now, those who probably are new to the channel, you probably don't know she is Yuki Kamifuku. Originally was a model before starting wrestling, but she became a pretty good, impressive wrestler. One thing that is good about her is that she has long legs that always been helpful to her to pick up the win. She has been champion before. She was the International Princess Champion. But I was surprised that she made it all the way to the finals, to be honest with you. But I think maybe some people are probably wanted her to make it to the top to pick up the top title, the Princess of Princess. I know Miyu Yamashita has been that particular champion before. But man, this match was so hard hitting in every aspect. It was so intense. But in the end, it was, of course, a knee strike by Yamashita to Kamifuku to pick up the win. So that means that Miyu Yamashita will challenge Mizuki for the title. Now, if I was a betting man, when will this match take place? Since we're in August, I believe this match could take place at Wrestle Princess 4 down in October. Matches have already been announced. If you guys remember, I did mention Maki Ito will be facing Nyla Rose in that particular show. So if I was a betting man, I think they're gonna put that right there. So we'll see what happens until then. Right now, we'll just end things with Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling and move on with Stardom. Okay, Stardom with Stardom X Stardom 2023 Osaka Summer team. So this is one of their just recent show. I haven't catched up to the other events with the 5-star Grand Prix, but I can surely tell you that there is one match involving that, and I'll get to that in a bit. Um, our opening match is a Osaka Gauntlet tag match. Now there were plenty tag teams that were involved, even makeshift ones. For example, we did have, of course, Hanan with her sister Hina taking on. Then, of course, we have Rina with Momo Watanabe, Ami Sodi, and Mirai from God's Eye taking on. Who else? Oh, yeah, Hanako teaming with Sudi, Yuna Mizumori with Momoka Hanazono, and so on and so on. So you probably asked me who actually won this match. I have to say I think many fans would say that these two should be deserving a shot of the tag titles, and that is, of course, Suzu Suzuki and Mei Sita. We often talk about them as the most dominating force since they formed a tag team together. Now, I know that Mei Sita still has her heart to proceed for the high-speed belt, but we cannot deny that both of them working together as a tag team is far more greater. So they picked up the win when they defeated DDM's Micah and Tekla. When I think it was Zuzu applied the tequila shot onto Tekla, just like that, to pick up the win. Now, our next match, this is a match for the 5-star Grand Prix. This is an Oedo Tai showdown. We have Starlight Kid taking on the leader of Oedo Tai, Natsuko Tora. Now, I had a feeling that this could end up very, very ugly in some capacity because they're both heelish. They would do anything to pick up the win. But it was Starlight Kid who immediately attacked Natsuko Tora before the start of the bell. Now, Starlight Kid, it was in fact the only person that hasn't picked up any wins yet. She had very losses, but of course Natsuko Tora, I think she currently has 6 points. That says it all. But man, it was crazy and epic to pick up the win. But I could not expect it so much. But of course, it was Starlight Kid that picked up the win when she pinned Natsuko Tora, giving her first 2 points. However, you probably ask yourself, is Natsuko Tora pissed? Well, she let her have her little victory. But I'm sure deep down in Natsuko Tora's heart, well, if she does have a heart, that she's proud of Starlight Kid because it was her who convinced her to embrace the dark side. And I'm sure she's very proud of that. Now, our next match is the high-speed title. We have Koguma versus Saki Kashima. Now, this match was set upon about a month ago. As for a while now, Mei Seira, who's been pursuing for this title, Saki Kashima was avoiding. So, however, she was willing to accept Koguma. Now, Koguma is a very, not a strange person, but more of a, you gotta watch out for her type of person. You know, she likes to play tricks. So Koguma made it clear that she wasn't gonna do that to Saki Kashima because Kashima will not play ball. So basically, she kind of read her language. So instead, she decided it's gonna be a fair fight. No more tricks. No me running around playing rock paper scissors, that sort of thing. So that match set. You probably would have thought that Koguma would have won because many people view Kashima as a weak link. Others say that she's a very sneaky person. But once again, Kashima applied the Kishikase to pick up the win, just like that. Now, the post match. I knew she was going to show up, and that is, of course, Mei Sita. Now, when you thought that maybe Kashima was like, okay, finally she's going to give her match for the title, well, unfortunately, she declined her again. But the most interesting is she reverse nominates Momo Kogo. You're probably saying, wait a minute, isn't it Momo right now pursuing for the New Japan Strong Women's title? Yes, she is. So it's kind of interesting. Even Momo on Twitter said that she didn't ask for this, but even though she was nominated, she's willing to go for it. So I know she has pursued this belt before when Azumi was still the champion, but she lost. But we'll see how that goes on. Now, our next match is the tag titles, the Goddesses of Stardom. This is between Cosmic Angel members Saru Inoi and Natsupoi to take on Club Venus members known as Rose Gold, Mariah May, and former Cosmic Angel member Mina Shirakawa, who is the current leader of Club Venus. Now, this is a very epic showdown between them. Now, I know Mina Shirakawa has a lot of resentments towards Natsupoi when she first joined Cosmic Angels last year. But the reasons this match was set upon was during a trios match in Korakuen Hall. Of course, during a promo, Sarunoi asked Natsupoi that her birthday was coming up, and what would she like for her birthday? And she said that she wanted the tag titles. Now, however, Mina Shirakawa played the judge in this particular scenario. She questions the friendship between Saru Inoi and Natsupoi. Now, Inoi and Natsupoi have been rivals before they ever arrived to Stardom on their separate times. Natsupoi has always said that she's the one person she's been unable to beat. And recently they had their match, the Indian Strat match. And of course, Saru Inoi doesn't mind being her rival for eternity, but that match brought them even more together. So Mina thinks that, oh, you're saying that your friendship has now gone stronger because of that match? No, girlie. Me and Mariah May, we are our actual real friends. So basically, it's more like, okay, Mina believes that their friendship will crumble. But I feel like their friendship has gone even stronger because this is not similar or the same, but almost somewhat a new type of chapter in Natsupoi. Now, keep in mind, last year, Natsupoi and Tam they rekindled their friendship after many years since Tam left her at the previous promotion. And they were able to reignite their friendship and all that. And I feel like that time, it brought Natsupoi and Tam more closer together. And I think with Saru Inoi, it did the same thing too with Natsupoi. So basically, it's more like friendships that have been lost, but now they've been rekindled in some capacity. And I think that was a good storyline to tell about. But man, you probably would have thought, many fans must have thought by watching this match that this was going to end with Club Venus retaining the titles. But no one expected that it was Natsupoi that picked up the win when she applied the the fairy strain onto Mariah May to pick up the win. And some people are often saying, man, this was a short-lived match for Club Venus. I mean, it seems like it. I mean, the same thing we thought about Mina with the future belt. Same thing with the Wonder belt, with the white belt. That kind of sets it in. But nonetheless, I think this match even made Natsupoi and Saru Inoi more closer than they ever were before. But however, in no time, Zuzu Suzuki and Mei Sita issued the challenge for the tag titles. Now, keep in mind, if you know the story too well, Zuzu and Saru Inoi actually knew each other from previous times, but there was a falling out between them that say that it was instigated by Saru Inoi. So now this is going to be interesting to see two former friends face off one another. So that kind of will be an interesting thing. But I'm sure Zuzu hasn't forgotten that it was Saru Inoi who cost her the loss of the artist belts when Zuzu was still with Prominence. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, our next match we have is the New Japan Strong Women's Championship between Yu and Julia. Now, this match was set upon during a press conference when Julia was attacked by Oedo Time members Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Starlight Kid. So basically, they're telling her that she needs to put her title on the match. And they're saying to who? To Yu. And she said that she knows Yu, but they're like playing, don't play stupid game with us. So she was referring to Yu, the big girl who actually is strong as hell. So this was a very strong match. But here's the thing. If you're a fan of Julia, you know for a fact Julia has the most deadliest blows on the planet. She can throw every blow at you and not take you out completely. But she could not apply into this match. And I think that's what sets it good, because Yu is a big girl. And of course, none of the deadliest blows that Julia has been known for could work. But she thought the only obvious way to defeat her is applying submission, where she pulled her arm down and Yu had no other choice but to win. I'm sure Julia's happy saying that I defeated the strongest person. But however, she received a video package all the way here from the good old US of A, Deonna Purrazzo, issuing the challenge for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. But however, a certain someone who feels that, no bitch, I need the spotlight, it's my spotlight. So, and that is of course the quintessential diva, Giselle Shaw, also issued a challenge. Julia's like, probably, you gotta be kidding me. But Julia does not back down from a fight. So basically, she accepted the challenge, and she's coming here to the States all the way to Philly for the Multiverse Unite 2, for whom the belt goes. However, Momo Kogo even announced that she's going to be coming to Philly as well. So it's going to be a four-way. I'm sure all three are going to ignore Momo, but I'm sure Momo, like what she did at the, what was it? Oh yeah, at the resurgence down in New Japan in Long Beach, she was very impressive. I'm sure she'll impress all of us once again. So we'll get to that in a bit, in another time. Now our next match, this is for the IWGP Women's title. Now this match came across for a long time. Now this dates back last year in October when Kairi won the IWGP title, defeating Mayu Iwatani. However, Utami, who sees the value of this belt, hasn't gotten, even when, of course, Kairi lost the belt to Mercedes Moné and now Mayu. But however, this is a very interesting storyline to tell. Utami Hayashida always reminds Mayu, telling her, did you forget who beat you for the red belt? So basically she's using the past as a way of reminding her, I beat you once for the red belt, and I can do it again. So that kind of goes in that storyline. But the obvious thing is, Mayu, who's been known as the icon of Stardom, she knows what's at stake. She's willing to hold on to this title long as possible because she is at the top of her game. But in the end of this, it was a very impressive Poison Rana into like a somewhat of an O'Connor roll onto Utami Hayashida to pick up the win. I thought it was impressive, but it was good. No official challenge yet, but I'm sure there's others that would definitely want this match. I know Micah has announced that she would like to have a crack at this belt, but we'll see what happens. Now our main event, this is for the Wonder of Stardom Championship, aka the red belt, between Mega Bane and Tam Nakano. Now this particular storyline began at day one of the 5-star Grand Prix. After what happened to Sayaka Mitani, Tam was trying to do a promo to address what's been happening. Lights turned out of nowhere, Mega Bane shows up and attacks Tam and issued the challenge. Now, many fans must have thought in their righteous minds that Tam has finally met her match, but Tam has always said that she has worked many miracles in the past. But this was a big challenge for her. Not to mention Natsupoi and Yuna Mizumori during the 5-star Grand Prix tour that they have come across her. Even Tam questioned Mizumori, asking her about Mega Bane, and gave her the answers that she needed, saying that she's big, She's strong, so basically giving her all the insight. But the obvious thing is, can Tam pull off a miracle? But the way this match was, Megan Bayne was like manhandling her completely, trying to break her spirit in every possible. But she tried every move. She even kicked out of the F5, for Christ's sakes. Even, I think she did that maybe 2 or 3 times. Even Megan Bayne was like, what? Like, she cannot believe that none of this happened. But Tam was able to overcome all of it. And of course, she first applied a German, then a Tiger suplex to retain the title. Even Megan Bayne was livid that she couldn't believe it. That all that strength that she pulled on Tam, it was all for nothing. Even, I'm sure Mariah May, who said that she was going to watch the downfall of Tam, well, she probably must have spilled her sushi around, questioning how did that happen. But it just proves that Tam is strong, and also tells people to always believe in her. And of course, what made me cry is, of course, everybody from Cosmic Angels, Natsupoi, Sarinoi, and Yuna Mizumori, they were right there. You know, that kind of embrace, because in a way, Tam feels the strength and love of them around her to keep her winning. And I think that's something special for her. So now that she has retained the title, what's next for her? Right now, she needs to focus a little more right now, because her title will be at stake by the end of this year, whoever wins the 5-star Grand Prix. So we'll get to that at some other point. So I think we're done for Stardom, so let's move on with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, as I said earlier, we're now in the conclusion of the G1 Climax 33. I mean, it's been a long journey, but who will walk out as the winner of this year G1 to go to Wrestle Kingdom 18 at the start of 2024? We have Kazuchika Okada, one of the best wrestlers in the world and one of the most best champions we ever seen. And then there's, of course, the master of Tranquilo, Tetsuya Naito, who has been determined to make it to Wrestle Kingdom to do his final wish, which of course is win the G1, win the IWGP World Heavyweight title, and do the LIJ roll call. That is the one thing that he hasn't done yet. But which one of them will walk out? I mean, that's a good question. But we'll get to that in a bit. So let's start with the first match. Our first match is, we have Ryohei Oiwa, the young lion, teaming up with Noah's Kato Kiyomiya to take on Oscar Lobe and Toru Yano. Now, I have to say, this was a very interesting matchup, because I never thought in my mind I would see Oiwa and Kato Miya actually try to coexist. Now, you probably would say, why would that be? There's like an intense rivalry between both the Noah wrestlers and the New Japan wrestlers, that sort of thing that's been going on for years. However, somehow they were able to coexist, but it was Kiyomiya with the Shining Wizard onto Oscar Lobe that allowed him to pick up the win. So I was very impressed. However, in the post-match comments, Kato Kiyomiya offered Oiwa to come down to Noah to go on excursion. So he feels like he gladly accepted. So he's going to go on excursion to go to Noah. And this is going to be interesting, because I don't know how well the other Noahs will think about this. So we'll see. We know that some people are saying that maybe this is Kiyomiya's plan to recruit more people to join Noah, because there's no doubt in our minds that New Japan is the #1 promotion in all Japan. I mean, in all of Japan, the country itself. So we'll see how that rolls on. Now, our next match, we have Shota Umino, Master Wato, Toma Akihama, and Yuji Nagata teaming up, taking on against Yuto Nakashima, all members of Strong Styles, Desperado, Minoru Suzuki, and Ren Narita. Now, as always, we've seen the obvious with Shota Umino and Narita always clashing with each other. That's always been the clear case when you watch these type of matches. But it was Shota Umino with the Death Rider onto Yuto Nakajima to pick up the win. So that sets it all. Now, our next match, we have Tiger Mask, Satoshi Kojima, Hiroshi Tenzan, and Togi Makabe to take on Yo, Eddie Kingston, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, this is where, of course, many people are still worried about what happened to Eddie Kingston the last time he was viciously attacked by Henare, who issued a challenge for the New Japan Strong Openweight title. But however, he is focused on what he did. Apparently, he did a pretty good chop, machine gun chop onto Satoshi Kojima, who's been known to do it. So I think many people would say, who does it better? I mean, does it really matter? But in the end, it was, of course, Yo with the who picked up the win when he pinned Tiger Mask to give him and his team the win. Next up, we have TMDK, Kosei Fujita, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, and Zack Sabre Jr. to take on Bolton Oleg, Ryosuke Taguchi, and of course our current IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Bushimon, consistent of Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. I thought this was a pretty good match. But however, the biggest shocker was, in fact, it was the Tank Buster that put away Goto and, of course, pinned by Haste. So that means that TMDK members Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols are now in line to challenge Bushimon for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Now, however, good news we're coming around about TMDK. Zack Sabre Jr. will be heading to Australia to participate with PWA, which is an Australian-based promotion where member Robbie Eagles normally appears. So his name has been announced to be there, and Kosei Fujita will be there to do a tour with Robbie Eagles. However, on good news, Kosei Fujita has officially graduated as a young lion. So basically, he's no longer a young lion. So this is just the beginning, and he'll be on excursion in Australia. So basically, he's looking forward to that. Now, our next match, we have a bit of the rivalry of former members of the Bullet Club taking on the current members of the Bullet Club. First, we have El Phantasmo teaming up once again with the God, Yado, Hikuleo, Tongaloa, and Tama Tonga to take on Bullet Club's Gabe Kidd, Alex Coughlin, Kenta, Chase Owens, and David Finlay. Now, you know this is a rivalry that it's going to go back. David Finlay hasn't forgotten the fact that he lost in the G1. His first, the man who defeated him to make his undefeated streak break was Tama Tonga. But however, it was a pretty good, impressive match. However, it was Tongaloa who picked up the win when he pinned Chase Owens. But however, Tama Tonga, Hikuleo, and El Phantasmo has called their shots. Tama has called out once again David Finlay for the never openweight title, a title that he lost to the viciousness of David Finlay. And of course, Hikuleo and El Phantasmo called out Alex Coughlin and and Gabe Kidd for the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team titles. So now they're making it clear. But you know for a fact the Bullet Club are not going to tolerate this one way or the other. Our next match, we have Lij consisting of Yota Tsuji, Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, and Shingo taking on the United Empire consisting of Great Okan, Henare, Jeff Cobb, and Will Ospreay. I thought this match was pretty great. I loved it. But one thing was very clear. If you guys remember, Will Ospreay said that New Japan doesn't need guys like the Yota Tsuji. I mean, Tsuji, since he first arrived, he was one of the most popular wrestlers to come back from excursion. But it was, in fact, at the end of the match, Tsuji speared Will Ospreay. And of course, the shocker, he pinned him. And now he issued a challenge for the so-called IWGP UK Heavyweight title. And Will Ospreay was livid. However, while that was being focused on, Henare, who attacked Eddie Kingston previously, was now attacked by the Mad King himself, Kingston himself. So basically this went back and forth. However, due to the fact of the IWGP UK title, apparently Shingo has first dibs already on it. So Tsuji has to wait in line. Now, during the post-match comments, Eddie Kingston called him out saying, "Come to Las Vegas. I'm willing to put the New Japan Strong Openweight." So he feels like Henare goes out saying he finally fulfilled what he wanted to make Eddie Kingston the vicious animal that he is. Well, Henare hate to break it to you, be careful what you wish for because you may not like it. But of course, Will Ospreay throwing his little temper tantrum towards the fact that, he lost to Tsuji. He feels that Tsuji is not even on his level. Well, we'll see because he put Sanada in a different level, basically, even though Sanada barely survived. Let's see if Will Ospreay barely can survive Tsuji. Now, our next match, we have the House of Torture. We have the Dick Togo, Sho, Yujiro Takahashi, and Evil taking on just 5 guys. Doiki, Kanemaru, Taichi, and Sanada. Now, the House of Torture, these dickwads, what they normally would do. They like to cheat. They like to use tricks on them. Not to mention, it was, of course, we have, what's his name, Sho, who applied the shock arrow onto Taichi. That means that he called a shot for the KOPW title. Sho even said on post-match he considers Taichi a weak champion. He thinks he can be a far more better champion. No. We all know that once House of Torture win the titles, they're not going to defend them, regardless of what New Japan would say. But that doesn't all end. They decide to handcuff Sanada on the ring ropes, and of course, Evil going out saying that he is the law. He's declaring that Sanada is unfit to be the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, that Sanada has the right, that he has to give up the title and hand it over to Evil. No. BS. Reason behind that, folks? I'll tell you why. Evil is crying like a little bitch. You know why he's crying like a little bitch? Because he did not win the G1. He's desperate. He wants to go to Wrestle Kingdom. It's the end game for everyone. Their dreams, go to Wrestle Kingdom. But sooner or later, Taichi and Sanada will get their titles back, regardless of what House of Torture thinks. But the obvious thing is now, Sanada has to think the obvious. He did not have just 5 guys in his corner when he faced Evil. Now, Evil, on the other hand, his history with Sanada goes deeper. Basically, if you guys remember, both Sanada and Evil were tag team champions when they were still with LIJ. But now they're on the opposite side of each other. I'm sure Evil is jealous that Sanada, after all those 7 years that he struggled to make it to the top, he must have thought, no way Sanada's going to get it. But Sanada's not going to let Evil get away with it. But the problem is, I said this before, now the end game is trying to get to Wrestle Kingdom 18. Now, Sanada will be defending the title as long as possible before Wrestle Kingdom, but that's not the problem that Sanada needs to face. Even if he defends the title and retain it before then, he needs to contend with now the person who wins the title, the G1, and that is, of course, we have Tetsuya Naito and Kazuchika Okada. Now, this particular match, the final of the G1, these 2 guys have been going at it before on various occasions. So that kind of sets it in for everything. But man, this match was so great. Now, we have seen Kazuchika Okada. He won last year's G1. But I think many fans must have thought, do we really need to see him again? I'd rather see Tetsuya Naito. Maybe that's the case. But Naito, oh man, the dude refuses to give down. This is his last chance to go to Wrestle Kingdom. That's his dream that he wants to do. But he tried to pull off multiple destinos, but it didn't work until he finally applied it, not once, but twice. The first time, just to put down Okada, but the second time, it's all for good measures to do that. I have to say, Tetsuya Naito really pulled it off pretty well. So he will be heading to Wrestle Kingdom. However, here's the thing that many of you may or may not know. They will be given a contract with a briefcase in it. Now, Naito will be able to defend the contract, but there will be challengers coming left and right who will have a right to challenge for that contract. And the one person that Kevin Kelly feels that will definitely challenge Naito is the person that Naito lost to in the G1, and that will be none other than Jeff Cobb. So that would be it. I wouldn't be surprised if Will Ospreay even challenges him. So that would be how I see it. Naito will have his hands full before he ever gets to Wrestle Kingdom. So I think that's pretty much it with New Japan. it's time for some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So this is what we have so far for everybody to report on what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. If you remember, I mentioned for a while now, new promotion that comes out in October, Kitsune Women's Wrestling, has now been continuing to make more announcements. They announced that Billy Starks is now been booked for this particular event, and also Trish Adora. Now, there was an X that was mentioned during these announcements throughout this entire time. Now, some of you may ask, what's so special about X? That means there's a mystery person that will be involved. Nobody knew who it was, but there were a lot of guests that were being made. However, Kitsune Women's Wrestling has announced it's none other than the submission sniper, Konami. So yes, Konami will be making her presence known. However, there's been a recent joke that was made recently. The joke is Unagi Sayaka will be there. And the last time she and Konami confronted each other was when Konami came back after she was out for a while, and Unagi tried to give her a hug, and then Konami tried to do the same thing. So we wouldn't be surprised if we see that, or they finally will hug it out. I don't know. So we'll see how that rolls up. Now, as you know, this past Saturday or Friday, AAA had their recent event, Triple Mania, but apparently something has transpired in the back. It was reported that Hijo Del Vikingo collapsed. He was carried out on a stretcher. Now, he's okay. Nothing serious has been made. I know there's a lot of fans that might have been scared over what happened to El Fantasmo. I just hope he takes it easy for the time being. I know he is the current mega champion, so he needs to calm down a bit. Now, Noah has announced for their September 3rd event an Edion Arena in Osaka. Let me pull that up for everyone on my phone. This is what they announced. We have the Joshi wrestlers making an appearance again. On one side, we have who I like to call the Nomads, consisting of Mayu Hiki, Miyuki Takase, Surumi Natsu. They take on against Yu, Hibiscus Me, and Lady Destroyer, Hiroyo Matsumoto. Next match, we have a very interesting one. We have Ninja Mac teaming up with Dragonbane, taking on Alpha Wolf and Alejandro. Then we have a very interesting tag match. Rohei Oiwa, who I mentioned earlier, that is going to be taking an excursion to Noah, will be once again teaming up with the Supernova, the savior of Pro Wrestling Noah, Kato Kiyomiya. They take on Yoshiniro Ogawa, and of course, our current IWGP World Television Champion, Zack Sabre Jr. And then finally, we have the GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Stinger, consistent of Daga and Chris Ridgway. They take on Asuchi Kotoge and Hiroki. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Now, New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced the return of Royal Quest down in London at the Copper Box Arena on October 13. Now, they haven't made an official announcement who will participate, but I can't wait to hear that coming as well. Now, Scott Edward from Fightful Select, who covers a lot of the Joshi wrestling, has announced for the upcoming 5-star show in Hiroshima, also on the 3rd of September. And this is what he reported that may most likely happen on that day. The Wonder of Stardom Championship, aka the White Belt, will be defended. Mirai defends the title against her teammate Konami. Now, this match was announced recently during the recent events. I'll get to that at some point. The Goddesses of Stardom, the tag teams, are newly crowned champions Saru Inoue and Natsupoi, who just recently won these tag titles, are defending it against Zu Suzuki and Mei Sita. the high-speed title. Saki Kashima defends her title against Momo Kogo. Then we have three 5-star matches taking place. We have Mayu Iwatani versus Sudi. We have Tam Nakano versus Starlight Kid. And then, of course, we have Utami Hayashida taking on Momo Watanabe. What else we have? Oh, yeah. Our next participant for the All-Star Junior Festival USA that takes place on Philly on August 19th. It was announced Ichiban's sweet boy and just recently graduate of the Young Lions, Kosa Fujita, will participate. So this is a very good news. Our Wrestling Revolver, as you know, I mentioned on a previous report, they are going to do 2 shows in one day. Amongst the show is called Revolver Women's Grand Prix that will take place on October 3rd. However, they announced now their first participant in the show is none other than Billy Sparks. So I'm excited to see who else is going to participate. Now, finally, as you guys may remember, I mentioned this before. The girls from Evolution, Chi-Chi, Zones, and Sunny, participated in a Pro Wrestling Wave event. And of course, one of the most interesting matches that, from what I'm hearing, what's her name? Chi-Chi teams up with Kizuna Tanaka, the daughter of Minoru Tanaka, and she had some interesting words of encouragement towards her. I mean, I've always mentioned that she will be one of the maybe reach the highest level in Evolution. So this is what she had to say to Kizuna. Thank you for teaming up with me. You lost, but you were in sync, right? Even though I was warm and friendly when it came to the game, I had a strong sense of defeat and wanted to know when I heard I stood diagonally. So Kizuna Tanaka, just like I said at the mic today, please fight a singles next time. So basically, Chi-Chi completely now is looking forward to seeing more of her opponents coming up. I wouldn't be surprised if Kizuna Tanaka will make her appearance at Evolution. That is something that we have seen many wrestlers make their appearances at the Evolution show. So she has been one of the high praises I've been noticing recently. Even though I haven't seen all of their wrestling events, but I will be doing that in a special episode. I think that's pretty much it what we have for now. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode coming up. I'm gonna wing it anyway. I'm not gonna say what is gonna be on the next episode. I'm just gonna keep it as a surprise. Now, I can tell you a few things. I haven't reviewed some of the much of the GCW events. I haven't even reviewed the ones they did in Japan yet. I might have missed out day 2, 3, and 4 of Pro Wrestling Noah for the N1 Victory, Triple Mania. But you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm just going to wing it, see how this one rolls out for everybody. So I'll keep this one as a little bit of a surprise. So for now, we'll just stick to what I'm going to say at the moment. I'll keep you guys surprised until then. So for now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.